Hello and welcome to the new Tableau Dashboard tutorial. And in this tutorial, I want to show you this inventory analysis dashboard that you can use as a design for your own work. So I saw this dashboard on Pinterest and let me show you that. So over here, I saw this dashboard, which is having absolutely similar design if you see. Right, and it is from this website instructorbrandon.com. So Pinterest is my go-to location, along with Dribble is something where we can find. If you remember, I previously posted this one as well, right? So it gives a lot of ideas in terms of what dashboard that you can produce, and my objective is that how I can produce within Tableau or let's say in Power BI, just so that you know from step by step we can get a good looking output. That is something we can use in our work to impress our users or create visually appealing dashboards in these technologies like Tableau and all. So we will going to look at how we're going to create this dashboard from scratch or right from the start and take it to the end by building this entire scenario. And I will show you what is the configuration that I have done, and finally how we can design this layout that will going to help us. Okay, so with that, let me start with all these KPIs. So first thing first is about the data set. So dataset is something what I'm using is Tableau inbuilt Superstore. Also, I have posted this dataset on my Google Drive. So on my Google Drive, I have this dataset folder. Within this dataset folder, if it lets me go in, it will basically give me, come on, why are you not? Yep, there you go. I am inside. So over here I have this data set. Over down below there will be sample superstore data set. This one, right, or sales.xls, sample superstore or sales.xls is something you can go ahead and download to start using it. Don't worry way too much in case numbers are not matching. For example, whatever is my final number. Whole idea should be that how we can apply the same techniques and get the similar output. All right. Also, one more important information is I keep all of my templates here in this folder. As you can see, all of my previous templates are present over here. So that is something you can access, download for your own work. You can see all of this is TWBX file. So simply you can go ahead and download. Also, you can follow me on Tableau Public. I'll give the link below and in the description, and you can do that. So before I also start creating or showing you about this, I do my Tableau advanced dashboard training where I basically provide a lot of other functionality. For example, right now it's all static charts, right? Orders by product subcategory, shipping time by product subcategory and region, and quarterly orders. So something, you can envision that if you, let's say, click over here, it should show everything related to the order. If you click it over here, it should show all the metrics by the order value, or if you click it over here, it should show all these values into the respective metric that we are capturing. So this becomes like a control panel and all your dashboard metrics are updating. Also, I cover a lot of different advanced date related functions where you can compare whether this is for current period and compare with the previous period, YTD, year over year comparison. All of that along with dynamic behavior is something I show it in my training. So if you're interested, you can let me know and reach out to my email ID, which is flashing over here, and I will share you the details. With that, let's go to this inventory analysis. So like I said, I'm using the sample superstore. So you will see the fields like this. Customer name, location, ship date, there will be location in country, region, state, there will be product, right? So all of this will be present, and then what we are doing is we are creating this sheet with the same name, and the name is coming as a title. And if you see, I am using a small technique to basically highlight or basically make it look good. So all in capital, and there's a space between that just to make an impact that it is a title. So This is something which is coming over here, and if I double click over here, in the sheet name I'm using Tableau semi-bold 12 and black as a color, and over here I am bringing the order ID over text. If you see, this is coming as text, and first it will show you all the names, but what you need to do is you need to come over here, go to the measure and say count distinct. That way it will give you the distinct order count that you have in your for you. That's something you need to take care as part of your inventory while you are working as an inventory analysis. Okay, so once you have this, a couple of other configuration that you may need to do is first thing first, you need to come over here from standard, you need to change it to entire view for all these visualization that we are creating. And over here into the text, you need to come over here and do it central alignment for horizontal. Also, once you click over here, this window will open up. This is something which I'm formatting to Tableau Bold 36, and the color code is, for the color that I'm choosing, is 1E8DBF, right? So that way you can get a preview over here as well. And 1687 is something, the unique order what you are having. So order count is this. Similarly, order value is nothing but the sales value. So ideally what you should do is you should right click and say duplicate, right? That way you don't have to do the formatting. Also, I remember from formatting perspective the background color, so you can right click anywhere, go to the format. Over here onto the shading, sheet should be selected and your shading should be this first gray color. Okay, so that way you will going to get the same color. Once you have done all of this formatting, come over here, duplicate this, change it to order value so that order value will start appearing, and just drag the sales and replace it the existing value, which will be count of order ID. Just put it on top of this, the sum of sales, and it will start coming. Now if you see, I have done small formatting over here. So the way you need to do is you need to come over here and say format, pane and numbers, currency custom, 1 decimal value, display unit needs to be in million, and this is my prefix. So based on the currency that you have, you can prefix it. You also have a suffix. I will show you an example in just a couple of minutes. All right. So once you have done that, then you will duplicate this and you will going to get the average order per day. Now in this case, I have used a different color, is because if I go back over here onto the Pinterest, you will see that this is the color that they have used for the third visualization. So this is the third and unit sold is the sixth. So that's 2 visualization in which I'm using the color. So something, if you want to highlight a different metric as per your need, you can color it, and I'll show you. The process is all same. This is average order per day. Average order per day is nothing but your count of order ID, right? And distinct count of order date. Now it's a different debate that whether this calculation is right or not, but whole idea is every day how many orders you are getting. So I'm taking a distinct count of order, dividing it by distinct count of dates, is basically giving me 5 orders per day. So average order per day is 5 orders. So orders is basically coming based on the formatting. So I go into the format in the pane, and I have number, 0 decimal places, suffix, I'm saying it orders, right? And that is why it is coming as orders. So once we have done that, the color is, you go right click format, into the shading, rather than this color, choose this color, which again I have shown the color coding 1E8DBF. So once this is done, again you duplicate this sheet. This is where we will going to create the average shipping time, 4 days. So 4 days is usually is what we are taking to ship any product, right? This is a calculation. So the calculation is over average shipping time. So right click, edit. So this is, I have already done that. Calculated field is something I have already created. So the way you need to do is you need to come over here and click on create calculated fields. Once you click on that, this type of a blank window will appear. So you need to give the name average shipping time, and using the date diff function, you need to say that you need to get the number of days between start date, order date and ship date, right? and that should give you the 4 days. So again, for the formatting, right click format, and onto the number custom says days. So that's how you are getting the days, and this formatting we are already doing it, right? So once we have done that, the same over here onto the shipping cost. So shipping cost is again assumption about what is the shipping cost, and if I show you the calculation, this is average shipping cost is whatever your sales is, you subtract the profit, what you get is the margin, and assumption is that 5% of the margin is our shipping cost, right? So that is something 0.05 I am multiplying, that 5% of my profit margin of 5% of sales minus profit is what I'm getting is the cost. 5% of that cost is the shipping cost, right? So that is something how I am getting it. Again, in your case, if it is straightforward, or if in, let's say, for each order shipping cost is given, then pretty good, right? You can straight away do that. Finally, units sold 12K, nothing but the quantity. You bring the quantity over here. 12K is again using the formatting. Formatting is number custom 1000. That is it. What you are getting is the 12,000 unit sold. Then what we are doing is the creating of a chart, orders by product subcategory and region. If you see, this is something what I'm not following it from here. What I'm doing is I'm double clicking over here and clearly specifying using left alignment, orders by product subcategory and region, Tableau semi-bold and 10, right? So specific name is something what I'm giving. Again, background color is same, and this color coding is based on region. So this is each of the region like west, east, central and south. It's basically indicating from where we are getting most of the orders. So clearly from the west region we are getting most of the orders, and the least orders are coming from south consistently for each of your product subcategory. So this subcategory is present over here. We are bringing it here. Count of order ID, distinct count of order ID is something what we are taking for putting it onto a bar. And to get the stacks, what we are doing is we are bringing the region over here. Similarly, if you have a different need, you can configure it, but that's how your configuration should look like. What you need to know is the color code, but it is the same different shade of this main color. If you see, this is the west, same color code. What I did is I just went over here and I dragged it little bit onto the right, again onto the right, again onto the right to finally get the south, right? So this is how I have created the different shades, which you can do it very easily, right? Simply double click on each of these sign and move it ahead. Simply double click on this sign and move it ahead, right? Once you do that, same as the shipping time by product subcategory. So this basically shows the shipping time that it takes, or average shipping time that it takes to ship the order into different regions, right? West 4.6 for supplies and envelopes, it's relatively early. Paper, phones is relatively early, or copier is the earliest one, right? So that is something you can figure it out. Over here, if you see in east, you have more time, 4.2 days compared to 3.1 days, which is like 1 day more. 2.3 is into the central, pretty less, and south is somewhere near to your west. So this gives an idea for an inventory guide, like how fast or how much delay it is happening, and accordingly you can decide like how much inventory you need to keep and time it takes to deliver it. Finally, the quarterly orders by shipping segment. So this is like Q1, Q2, Q3 and Q4, and you have the different customer segment: home, office, corporate and consumer, which is to indicate in which section you are getting most of the orders. So clearly 50% of the orders consistently is you are getting it from the consumer division, corporate division and home office division is the least one. So you have the number of orders and their relative percentages as well. So once this chart is prepared, also to create this chart, the count of order ID is something you bring it onto the rows, but you also need to make sure that you are doing the quick table calculation where you are choosing the percent of total. Once you have done that, you need to make sure you come over here, compute using and saying table down. Once you are Once you are done with this configuration, all of these values will be appearing, and then you need to bring in order onto the label to bring the actual order number, and then you also need to hold down your control key and drag this onto the label, and release the control key will give you this calculation or this percentage as well. So all of this configuration is something you need to do like the steps that I have shown, and you will going to get a chart like this. Again, for segment, you go into the color, the same technique. For the highest one, I'm choosing the base color and then the different shade of the same color to get the impact. Once you are done with that, what I'm doing is I'm bringing, as you can see, everything over here, which is basically about putting everything in a proper layout. So how you can do it from the scratch is, let me create a dashboard. As you can see, I'm creating this blank dashboard. Over here, what I'll do is I will increase the height to 1000. 1000 is the width, 1000 is the height, right? First thing first, what I'll do is I'll bring in my vertical, because first component is here, second component is here, third is here, fourth is here, right? And what I'll do is, within that, I need multiple components. So what I do is, as a helper, I bring in blank. That basically helps me as a helper to easily bring other component. For example, I need to bring in horizontal container. I bring it at the top, and down below, if you see, I have this border with which I can go up and down, because this is a blank which is helping me putting that boundary, right? So we have this. Let's say first is the word title. Second horizontal, I can put it over here, is basically for my KPI. The third horizontal is again for the KPI. The fourth horizontal is for my charts, which is these two charts. And finally, I have this one, right? So finally, what I bring is this one, right? And I can remove this, okay? So all of my components are in place, which I can now easily go and navigate and start configuring it. This much size is fine for my text, or even I can go up a little bit, and I can bring in the text over here. So text is my inventory analysis, right? What I do is I bring in the color that is there. Up to you what color you want to choose. I think what I'm choosing is this one, and even for this I am choosing this one, and I'm giving a size of 36, but I am making it little bit bold. Okay, inventory analysis, and I click OK. So inventory analysis is my title, and I have the image. If I show you, I have this image which I have taken it directly from there over here by taking a small snapshot of this. So for that, what I can do is I can bring in my image. So the image is coming over here, fit and center. Click on choose, and choose is what logo, and click OK, and this is where your image is, right? Now it's about also if I go over here onto my dashboard, the background as well. So the way you need to do it, you need to come outside and onto this edge, select this container, right? Let me just try to select the container, go to the layout, over here choose the second one, okay, because first one I have chosen it already for my sheets. So this image is also matching with this background, so this is good, right? And I can bring in my filter as well, which is present over here, the ear filter, right? This will also come once I will do the configuration. So I have this. So this is my KPI, right? First KPI sheet. So this much is fine. And second one, I need to keep the same width. So what I need to do is come over here, select edit height 1, 2, 3, and come over here, select edit height. Edit height 1, 2, 3. Click OK, right? Same height. So that way I can now bring in my order, right? Order value at the end, and order third one is again at the end, right? And the second one is over here, average shipping time, finally here in the end, and unit sold is over here. So if you see, properly in alignment, because we have used the proper horizontal containers. Once we are done with this, you can come over here into the layout. You need to choose this color, which is the light color of gray, right? Similarly over here, choose this, not white but light color of gray. Over here, select this light color of gray, select this light color of gray. Over here you need to choose the same blue color. Over here, this blue color. Similarly over here, select that and select this blue color. So that way our configuration for KPI is done, right? Now coming to the second part where our charts are present. If you see, where are you? The charts are present. So what we are doing is we are bringing the charts. Charts are present here, and second chart is present here. Let me just increase the width little bit so that they come properly. Yeah, depends on how much we want. If we want a little bit more, we can keep moving it down, but we need to also increase the size for this one, which we can do it with the help of this. We can increase the height, and now we have a little bit more height over here. So 1100 is the height. Finally, what I can do is I can bring it over here, this one. So again, for this sheet, right, layout, background color first one over here, layout color first one, layout color over here, first one, first shade of gray. So at least 90% you can see very quickly we can do once we have our structure in place, and that is something which I also cover very much in depth in my training with a lot of complex different scenarios, right? Just so that you get a mastery over it and create these type of dashboard without much of an issue. So once we have this, couple of more things like we have these legends over here, which is same for this too. So I have it in central, and for this I have these values over here and the legend over here, right? So how we can bring it is, let me just show you. So first thing first, over here I go select the sheet, onto the drop down legend, color legend is something which is coming over here, right? What I can do is I can bring it over here. I can make it arrange item for this legend into the single row, right? And what I can do is I can bring this up a little bit. Yeah, so region like this is coming, right? We need to get it into a center. So what I do is, what we need is a blank, but the problem is we can't put a blank anywhere onto the left hand side. So usually in scenarios like this, again what we need is the horizontal container. In this horizontal container, let's put it this inside this, and then I can bring in my blank onto this side, and then I can keep the size relevant and increase its size, right, so that it is coming in the middle, right? So that way we have this section. Also what I can do is, for this container I can choose the background to this little bit grayish color so that it is picking up this size. Also from the top, what I need is, it is basically having the same space like this. So I select that from the top, uncheck this, let's just change it to 4, and that way we get more space, right? Similarly from the bottom, if you see, it needs to be part of this dashboard, right? So what do we need to do is select this, outer padding is present, right? Uncheck this and say 0, select over here, again uncheck this and say top 0. That way there is no space onto the top, and if it will give you a feeling that it's a one single component, right? The only thing is these dimensions or these things are not coming properly. So what do we need is, over here from the left we need 4, from the right we need 4, so that everything will be in proper alignment, right? So this looks like a one single shape for our end user. Now coming back to here, again what we need is a horizontal container. So I'll bring it over here. Okay, in that what we need is a text component, and that is nothing but your quarterly orders by customer segment, and give it 1 space and 2-3 spaces between when the word is changing. or it's a different word. And we are done. The only thing I will going to do is semi-bold. 9 is fine and this much is fine, just so that you know everything is in place. Now you can right click and hide the title. Over here the title is coming over here. What I can do is I can select this chart, come over here, say legends, color legend, right? So where is that legend? The legend is coming over here. What we can do is we can bring it here in this container, come over here, arrange item, single row, right? And we come up until here and we have the segment. Also, one thing I will do is I'll just select this and double click over here to select the entire container. Over here, what we will going to do is select this white and just couple of more things. Again, double click, select it. From the top we need 4, uncheck that and say from bottom 0, right? Over here for this chart we have 0, so it's all coming here. I'll just, yep, for this chart what I'll do is uncheck that. From the top we'll say 0 so that it will feel like it is a part of this container. So now this is 1, this is 1 and this is 1. The only thing which I need to bring in is the filter. So coming over here onto the filter, year of order date, which is again coming over here, I can bring it over here, come over here and say apply to worksheet all using this data source and single value drop down. Right now I can click all and that should basically change your entire dashboard. So that is something which is going on in this dashboard. As you can see, once you have produced a visualization, a lot of effort goes here in putting it in a proper dashboard, and you can do as much as you want. Like you want to create a third layer or you want to further go down, you can keep doing your analysis for your end users. With that, I wanted to show you how quickly you can do that, but yes, it takes time because for each visualization you have to, you know, do it one by one. But my suggestion will be do as much exercise as possible. I have shown you where you can find your inspiration. Go over there, find your inspiration, take one data set and start creating. With that, you will going to get an expertise after you are done with some 10-15 dashboard. Also, this will going to build your data analyst portfolio, right? Which you can showcase to your end user, to your prospective employer. With that, thank you so much for watching. I'll meet you in the next video with a new topic.